Safety on a construction job site doesn't happen by accident. Your employer is responsible for creating a hazard-free workplace so you don't get hurt while on the job. But keep in mind, your personal safety starts with you. You need to be aware of the potential hazards on the job site, you need to take action to avoid or eliminate them, and you need to report any hazards or unsafe conditions. The most basic way you can stay safe while on the job is through various work practices. Safe work practices are a combination of learned behaviors, routines, and habits you can use in order to protect yourself while on the job. And after completing this training module, you'll be able to demonstrate safe work practices and procedures that can help protect you and others around you. Did you know how you take care of yourself off the job has a big impact on how well you perform on the job? By eating right, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, and having a healthy way to handle stress, you'll feel better at home and at work. And for some, not taking care of yourself can ultimately affect your ability to stay focused and work safely, which could lead to carelessness and on-the-job accidents. Being physically, mentally, and emotionally fit will enable you to put forth your best effort and stay safe at work. Construction work often requires heavy manual lifting, and your body may be subject to repetitive twisting or flexing motions, which can damage your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and nerves, especially in your back. And over time, this stress on your body can result in painful musculoskeletal disorders, which may require treatment, therapy, or worse, surgery. Most job sites use forklifts and other equipment to lift and move heavy objects. However, sometimes it's necessary to move objects by hand. In these situations, knowing the proper way to lift can help you prevent back injuries. Safety on a construction job site doesn't happen by accident. Your employer is responsible for creating a hazard-free workplace so you don't get hurt while on the job. But keep in mind, your personal safety starts with you. You need to be aware of the potential hazards on the job site, you need to take action to avoid or eliminate them, and you need to report any hazards or unsafe conditions. Your work environment includes the physical location where you perform your assigned duties, as well as the surrounding conditions. Much of your work environment is controlled by your employer based on various OSHA regulations. After completing this training module, you'll be able to identify specific worksite arrangements that help maintain a safe work environment. Exposure to hazardous substances can cause diseases which may appear in the short term or over a longer period of time. In construction, there are 3 categories of health hazards that need to be recognized, evaluated, and controlled, which include chemical, physical, and biological hazards. Chemical hazards include gases, vapors, fumes, dusts, fibers, and mists. Some possible health effects from chemical hazards include asphyxiation, damage to body tissue and organs, silicosis, mesothelioma, and cancer. When 2 or more hazardous chemicals are present at the same time, the effect on your body can be greater than the effect of the substances by themselves. For example, the risk of developing lung cancer is greatly increased by exposures to both cigarette smoking and asbestos. Physical hazards common to the construction job site are temperature extremes, high noise levels, repetitive motion and working in awkward positions, and ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. The effects of physical hazards range from sunburn and frostbite to hearing loss and cancer. To protect yourself against physical hazards on the job site, wear the proper personal protective equipment, or PPE, to protect you from excessive noise and weather conditions, and use all equipment correctly and safely. Safety on the construction job site doesn't happen by accident. Your employer is responsible for creating a hazard-free workplace so you don't get hurt while on the job. But keep in mind, your personal safety starts with you. You need to be aware of the potential hazards on the job site, you need to take action to avoid or eliminate them, and you need to report any hazards or unsafe conditions. On the job site, most of us use at least some sort of device to help us get our jobs done. Now, whether it's a simple hand tool, a power tool, or a piece of heavy equipment, you need to understand how to operate it in a safe way to protect yourself and those around you. And after completing this module, you'll be able to recognize the hazards associated with using tools and equipment and identify safe ways to operate them. Most of us have been using tools for so long that it's easy to overlook the hazards they pose. There are two general categories of tools commonly used on job sites: hand tools and power tools. A hand tool is any portable, non-powered device that you hold in your hands. Hand tools range from a tiny screwdriver to a large sledgehammer. A power tool may be a portable handheld device like a circular saw or drill, or a stationary unit like a stand grinder, drill press, or table saw. The only difference is that power tools require an external source of power to work. Hazards associated with hand and power tools can be put into two broad categories: action and condition. The danger may come from the tool's action or motion, such as cutting, shearing, drilling, sanding, or fastening. For example, the tool's action may create sparks or flying particles. Or the danger may come from the tool's condition. Rusty metal, jagged edges, missing guards, and damaged switches are all examples of poor tool condition. Safety on the construction job site doesn't happen by accident. Your employer is responsible for creating a hazard-free workplace so you don't get hurt while on the job. But keep in mind, your personal safety starts with you. You need to be aware of the potential hazards on the job site, you need to take action to avoid or eliminate them, and you need to report any hazards or unsafe conditions. Emergencies on a job site can and will happen. That's why it's so important you and your employer are ready for them when they do occur. Preparation plays a crucial role in ensuring you have the necessary equipment, know where to go, and are aware of how to keep yourself safe in an emergency situation. After completing this module, you'll be able to describe the appropriate actions to take based on your level of authorization in the event of an emergency. It's been said that you should expect the best, but be prepared for the worst. However, a written emergency action plan tells you the correct way to respond to an emergency situation that may occur on your job site. The plan should address all possible emergency situations. When OSHA requires your company to have an emergency action plan, it must include the following elements: the method for reporting a fire or other emergency, procedures for emergency evacuation, including exit route assignments, procedures for employees who remain to operate critical equipment or perform functions before they evacuate, procedures to account for all employees after evacuation, procedures for employees performing rescue or medical duties, and the names or job titles of individuals to contact for more information about the plan or an explanation of duties under the plan. In addition, you may find that your emergency action plan also includes detailed lists of all personnel working on site, including their home telephone numbers, their duties, and responsibilities, a map of the job site, a list or map of all headcount locations, instructions for handling chemical spills or releases, and information on the types of fires and how to handle fire extinguishers. For an emergency action plan to be successful, all employees should participate in the training sessions and practice any drills held by your company. First aid is the immediate and basic care given to an injured or ill person until trained medical help arrives. OSHA requires employers to adequately train selected workers to perform first aid if a hospital, clinic, or infirmary is not nearby. If you are not a designated and trained first aid provider, do not attempt to administer first aid. Your first step in attending to an injured coworker is to call for help. Be sure you know what number to call in the event of a medical emergency.